No,
hold the medal.
No,
Get
I can't.
it.
No.
It's there.
Can we
It's
hold
there.
it together?
It's
Hold
there.
it together.
We can hold it together. Okay.
Paris Tonight is brought to you by Smartwater.
It's day 12 of the Olympic Games here in Paris, and we're well past the halfway mark. Some sports like swimming and artistic gymnastics have come and gone. Others are just getting started, taekwondo and weightlifting. Plus there's the likes of breaking, which haven't even made its debut yet. That doesn't mean, though, that there aren't a plethora of great stories to be told here, and we feature a couple of them on today's episode. Remember Camryn Rogers? We talked about her at the end of yesterday's episode. She's the female hammer thrower from Richmond, BC, who made history last night au Stade de France. We're going to speak to her, and she is an unbelievable personality. Such an infectious joie de vivre that she gives off. Can't wait to show you that conversation. Plus, we speak to Fay De Fazio Ebert. She is the youngest Olympian on Team Canada, 14 years young. She's a skateboarder. She's cool as heck. She's also the youngest Team Canada Olympian since 1976. 14. What were you doing when you were 14? I bet you weren't preparing for the Olympics. We'll feature that conversation too. But you never know who you're gonna meet here in Paris at the Olympic Games. And I just happened to run into my old friend Georges St-Pierre, AKA arguably the greatest MMA fighter of all time. I'm sure you've heard of him. I've talked to him all over the place, all over the world for many, many years. Didn't expect to see him here. We caught up with him. Here's that chat. Well, I have had the privilege of talking to this man for many, many years all over the world, but never did I think that we'd meet at the Olympic Games. He's a man who needs no introduction. He's the greatest mixed martial artist of all time, the pride of Saint Isidore, Quebec, Canada, the one and only Georges St-Pierre. So great to see you, my friend. What
I
a
like
surprise.
the way you put Saint Isidore on the map,
Of course.
Ariel.
You're
the people
you
there,
put it on the
they're
map.
always happy when they see you do this.
Of course, I have to. So good to see you here, my friend.
Yeah, good to see you, man.
What brings you here? I wasn't expecting you.
Well, I have a friend of mine who trains wrestling. Alex Moore is going to compete tomorrow, and I'm very excited for him.
Which discipline and which
Wrestling,
weight?
Olympic wrestling,
Okay.
and at 86 kilo. And of course, he's not the favorite on paper. He's a little bit under the radar, but he's new to international competition, and I think he's going to do very well. I have high hopes.
You train with him?
I've trained with him a little bit, but now he's so much better than me. He needs more challenge, so he goes with the best guy in the room, you know?
I feel like you're someone who really appreciates the Olympics because you love like the purity of sport.
Yeah.
Which events in particular do you enjoy watching?
Wow, I like all the combat sports. I really love track and field, 100, 200s, 400s. These are my favorites. I like all the combat sport, but also track and field. The reason why track and field, I think it's mentally it's like a fight. You know, like you have to stay focused on your lane, and there's a lot of similarities, and it's a very beautiful sport to watch.
I thought maybe you would say gymnastics because I know you like to do gymnastics as well.
Gymnastic too. It's
Yeah.
another one. Gymnastic too. Fencing too. I love fencing. Yeah. All combat sport and gymnastic. I like it because I believe they're the most athletic athlete of all sport. Because gymnasts can do all movement. You know, they can replicate almost every movement. But if you ask another athlete to try to replicate what gymnasts are doing, it's almost impossible.
If you were younger GSP and you could pick one specific sport to go into for Olympics, you can't do MMA, of course.
Yeah.
Which do you think you would have chosen?
Well, I don't have the talent to do it. No, I don't. No. Okay, if you talk about combat sport, I would have liked maybe wrestling. I think is my favorite. But if you would ask me if I would have the choice to transform myself into a gold medal winner athlete, I would like to be a 100-meter runner. Yes, I think it's the most beautiful sport.
Do you remember where you were? 1996, Donovan Bailey won the 100 meters. You remember that moment?
Yes.
That's one of the greatest moments in Canadian sports
That was
history.
amazing, and my favorite sprinter is a friend of mine. His name is Bruni Surin.
Yes, I've seen him
He
here.
has probably one of the best start I ever seen. He's like a cannon, boom, when he get out of the blocks. But after, sometimes people catch up to him, or it's either they catch up to him or he was not able to keep his speed.
Right.
But he had the best starts of all the athletes I ever seen.
One thing we always talk about in MMA, will MMA ever be an Olympic sport? What do you think, yes or no?
It used to be at the Olympic in ancient Greece. It was called pankration. the rules were much different back then. But who knows? I don't think it's gonna. I'm gonna live long enough to see it in the Olympic. The reason is it's because it's called mixed martial art. It's a combination of different combat sports.
Right.
But perhaps if they want to go back to their roots, they could have it with some modifier rules. That would be interesting.
What about jiu-jitsu?
I think jiu-jitsu could be there. Maybe perhaps they can call it submission wrestling because there might be athletes from judo, sambo, and also wrestling or shoot fighting competing in it. So it would be interesting.
Well, that will be one day down the line. For now, enjoy the games. Have you ever been to the games before?
Never been.
Okay.
I only watch it on TV, and being here is just, it feels unreal.
Well, I wish the best to you and your friend tomorrow. Good luck to him, making Canada's proud. He always makes Canada proud, this man, the legend GSP. So great to see you here, my
Try
friend.
my
Enjoy.
best. Thank you, Ariel.
Outshine Gold, presented by Lululemon.
A special kind of history was made on Tuesday night at the track. Richmond, British Columbia's own Camryn Rogers became the very first Canadian to win gold in hammer throw, and in doing so made all kinds of history, more history than that. Okay, let me see if I can remember everything. First Canadian woman to win a medal of any kind in the event.
Correct.
First gold medalist from Canada, woman, to win a track and field / athletics gold medal since 1928.
Yeah, I didn't even
That's
hear
absurd.
that. I didn't even know about that stat until I was going through all the media afterwards. We go through like the different like passageways of all the media people, and someone said that to me, and I was like, "There's no way, that's not possible." And they're like, "Nope, that's an actual stat," and it was shocking because I feel like. I don't know. I feel like that's very unbelievable. That's crazy.
It's believable, and now we'll start a new streak with you that hopefully doesn't last this long. And then, of course, with Ethan winning on Sunday, we sweep. And I saw the video. You were watching him when he won, and you were so happy for him. And it's so. I mean, you just have a beautiful personality. You're constantly smiling. You have like this joie de vivre, as they say here in France. Like you're just so happy. When you saw him do that. Obviously you're happy for him, but did you feel like, all right, now I gotta sweep this for us?
I mean, 2 years in a row, pressure is on because he started off with men's hammer last year at Worlds too, and I was like, okay, Ethan, dang, you're coming out so hot right now. But he is such an incredible athlete and like an even better person. And I've had 2 of our guys in the final, including my training partner Rowan Hamilton, and then have Adam Keenan. Like this was his last ever competition of his career, and he gets to call himself an Olympian. Like, it's amazing. We have so many incredible throwers who are part of our team, who are on Team Canada and are going out there and showing the best of what Canada has to offer on the big stage. It was also great to be able to share our sport with more people and to also learn about them. And so see him just relish in that joy of being an Olympic champion, and then to run over to his coach Dylan and then his girlfriend Kelsey, like that was so sweet. And I don't think I'd ever actually seen her. Like I've seen pictures of her and she looked so cute, and they just looked so happy afterwards. Those are the moments that you feel like I felt so much for him there, just because I mean there's so much that gets you to that point in your life and in your career, and it's a lot of those people who are able to be there with you and for you along the way. So I'm glad you got to share that with some of the people that matter the most and mean the most to him.
I love everything about your story. I love the connection that you have with your mom. I love how this necklace that you gave her has now become famous. When you're a 7-year-old and you're giving your mom, you know, most 7-year-olds aren't giving their parents presents, they're expecting presents to be given to them. Do you remember like the story around how you got this necklace, and now it's become like her good luck charm, right? Oh man,
I wish I did. I feel like it's been so long. I think I got it at like a craft fair. It's a craft fair of some sort. Maybe like my elementary school or something. Oh man, I wish I knew, but all I know is I gave it to her and she has not taken it off.
Incredible.
Since. It's been there with her for I guess, for every day since. So I think it's pretty special now that it's so famous, but also that it means so much to her and also to me, and that's her way of really being able to experience those big moments with me, because she doesn't watch my throws, so she holds on.
Where is she when you're throwing?
I mean,
Closes her eyes?
She closes her
Wow.
eyes. She doesn't watch.
She's sitting there but can't
No,
bear to watch.
She says it stresses her out.
Oh
so
my gosh.
much. So for her, that's her way of supporting and showing love.
You guys have been through so much together. I'm just wondering if you remember what you said to her, that hug, when you guys hugged, when you saw her and were able to hug her after you won. Do you remember
Between the tears?
Yeah, yeah. Do you remember what you said to her or what she said to you in that moment?
Oh, I mean, for her, she always texts me in the days leading up to competition. She's literally been texting me like inspirational and motivational pictures and quotes. So, and she always finishes it off, especially like I think in all her posts too, like my greatest joy, my shining star. And so she was just saying that to me and how proud she was to call me her daughter, how grateful she was. I was like, no, I'm grateful for you. Like I would never even be able to ask or wish or hope for anyone better to be my mom. And for her to be here and for us to share that moment together, for her, I mean, there's so much that I don't know about and probably will never know about that she sacrificed for this to happen. And so if anything, this medal is more hers than it's mine.
You're an absolute joy. So happy for you. The whole country is so proud of you. You make history. Both you and Ethan have made everyone so proud. As Devin likes to say, we're now a hammer-throwing nation, and it's because of you and Ethan. So well done. Congratulations, and thank you so much for the time.
Thank you so much for having me. Thanks, Canada.
So when I was 14 years old, my biggest worry every day was whether I was going to have mac and cheese or pizza for dinner. Fay De Fazio Ebert just competed in the Olympic Games at 14, the youngest Team Canada member and the youngest Olympian from Canada since 1976. You're incredible. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
How's the experience been?
The experience has been amazing, the highs and the lows of skateboarding and the contests, and it's amazing.
I'm just like so blown away by your poise and how you compete and your athleticism. And I'm just wondering, like, when you dreamed about competing in the Olympics, did all of this live up to it, or has this exceeded your expectations?
To be fair, I'm not bummed, but I wish I did land my run, and I really can't change anything because I actually do feel more motivated to keep going and keep trying and keep progressing in my skateboarding, because I do love skateboarding.
Yeah, and you're incredible at it. I'm not a skateboarding expert, I won't pretend to be, but I know you went for like a really hard move at the end there. Do you have any regrets about going for such a big move, or is that just the kind of competitor that you are?
I think if I didn't try that trick at the end, I went in going and like feeling like I want to put down the hardest run, and like if I didn't go for that, I feel like I would have maybe regretted not going for it.
Yeah, shoot for the moon, land
Yeah.
among the stars, as they say, right? And I love that, I believe you wanted to just kind of talk to your mom right before you went for it, right? Why did you feel like that was something you needed to do in that moment?
My mom has been like a really big part of like my journey, and like since I was young, she's like took me to skate parks for like hours and hours and hours, and like filmed me and stuff and made edits. And she like started my Instagram and made edits and stuff.
Incredible.
And I thought they were so sick. And we'd be at the skate park for like so long, like 9 hours. And I'd be like, I want to keep skating. She's like, Faye, we have to go home. You have to eat dinner. I'm like, I just want to keep skateboarding. But like going and like talking to her and holding her hand, I just needed to feel like her energy of like, I can do this. Like she's been with me like along the way, and like just like the love.
Who introduced you to skateboarding?
Like my dad was scrolling through like a newsletter, and like he like saw this program. He's like, Faye, you want to try skateboarding? I was like, yeah, let's go. Like yes. And we went to the lesson, and I loved it, and it just kind of felt natural. And we went to a skate shop and bought like a board right after, because I was like so hyped, and I haven't stopped since.
And now you're an Olympian.
Yeah, which is nuts.
Your
It's
friends
so
back
crazy.
home, were they watching?
Yeah.
Supporting you, sending you messages?
Yeah, like a bunch of people sent me messages, and they're like, I woke up early to watch you, and I'm like, that's so sweet that everybody really cares about my skateboarding and what I'm doing and like watching me. And everybody's super excited. Even people who don't even know me, like they'll send Instagram messages being like, I'm so proud of you, and you're like, I really love the way you skated out there. and it just feels like it's so like warm and comforting, and like Canadians and even like people from other countries are so supportive, and
You're an inspiration to a lot of kids.
Which is, it's wild.
Yeah. You're going to 10th grade, right?
Yeah.
Or grade 10 as they say in Canada. Are you gonna go in September, or do you need a little bit of a break? Like Olympics to 10th grade, it's kind of a...
I think I will be going.
Okay.
I
think you deserve an extra month off, if you ask me. I'm gonna talk to your principal.
I think you should.
Send him this clip.
I will be going to school, but I do want to keep skateboarding and training for LA, which like keep getting better, because I feel like this is obviously not the end of
course,
like me going to the Olympics.
And so you're determined to be back in LA, and you'll do great, and you'll have maybe your duck's feather in your, is it in your helmet?
Yeah, it's in my helmet.
Yeah.
And I drew one like on the side.
And what's your duck's name? Your pet duck's name?
Richard.
Richard.
Yeah.
Is he back home?
Yeah.
And so you take a feather from him, and
they kind of like fall out.
Okay.
Like during molting season, and I just collect a bunch of them and like, I don't know, keep them safe. Trying to find the best feather.
Brings you good luck.
Yeah.
And do you have another one in your pocket too when you compete?
I usually don't, but like recently my other duck just passed away.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So just like she was really like fiery and like had a lot of energy, and I was like, I just want to remember how she acted. Like she would chase the squirrels in the backyard, and she was really like aggressive. So I just kind of want to remember that. So I kept her feather in like my left pocket.
Are ducks your favorite animal?
Yeah.
Okay.
I love all birds. Birds are so good.
I love it.
They're
You're
so
like a bird
amazing.
out there flying around
Thank
with
you.
your skateboard. Thank you so much, Fay. You're incredible. Congratulations on
Thank
making
you
it
so
here, and I
much.
can't wait to see you in 2028.
Thank you.
Something tells me we'll be hearing about Fay for many years to come. Now, before we move on, a quick update from Stade de France. Shout out to London, Ontario's own Alicia Newman, who earlier tonight won her very first medal in women's pole vault, a bronze to be exact, and this is so significant for multiple reasons. Number one, her third Olympic Games. She had never reached the final before, and just 5 months ago at the World Indoor Finals, she severely injured her ankle, and it looked awful. I mean, just look at this photo. Who would have thought that person would not only just compete in Paris, but win a medal as well? She's overcome a lot over the last couple of years, of concussion as well. This is a youngster who, way back in the day, was a gymnast, got seriously injured, had to change her athletic path, chose track and field, and now here she is, an Olympic medalist. Well done, Alicia Newman. Now, someone who's hoping to become an Olympic medalist is Olympic debutant track cyclist Dylan BIVIC. He's a very confident guy. He's expecting big things here in Paris. Take a look.
Yeah, I know he's a winner. He's a winner for sure. No question about that. He's a fighter. He hates losing, I think.
I've never really had an issue with pressure. My first ever World Championships, our first ever race, I won.
Here goes the Canadian rider, looking to give Canada the world scratch title as he drives clear. Canada take it with Dylan BIVIC. What a performance by the Canadian.
Confidence can never hurt in a racing scenario. If you asked me like 5 years ago if I could do this, I'd say I think I could do it too.
He's a winner. So sometimes that confidence, cockiness, it's part of sport in a way. You know, sprinters, particularly guys that go head-to-head, man, they can't let down their guard for any second. It's a bit of everything, you know, focus, strength, cockiness, confidence, tactics, it all counts.
In my opinion, it's a pretty low bar to qualify for the Olympics. What really means something is a medal. If I got a silver or bronze, I'd be just like neutral. I wouldn't be like really mad, but a gold I'd be pretty satisfied, yeah.
All right, it is time to wrap up day 12, and that means it's time to look at the medal table. We're up to 19 now, which is good enough for 11th place. By the way, in case you're wondering, our record at non-boycotted Summer Games, 24, just 3 years ago. Tokyo, we're getting close. It's gonna be a very fun final stretch here in Paris. Okay, time now for everyone's favorite segment of the evening. It is time for my Paris Tonight Podium, 3 favorite personal moments of the day, and we have 3 fun ones for you. My bronze goes to the parents of Fay De Fazio Ebert. Had a chance to speak to them right after my conversation with Fay, and I was so impressed with her. It's a 14-year-old kid, and she's competing at the Olympic Games. I have a son who's 12, also another son who's 10, a daughter who's 7, and as a parent, I just couldn't imagine the pressures that go into having a child competing on such a big stage and what it's like dealing with them, and then having another child who's 12, and is he jealous of his sister? Does he want this kind of attention? It was just a great chat with two really cool people who seem so supportive of their kids and just taking this all in. I loved everything about it. Parent to parent, that was a highlight for me. So shout out to the entire family for just being so cool and being so open to talking to everyone and sharing their experiences, and looking forward to seeing them in 4 years in Los Angeles. Again, something tells me we'll be hearing a lot about Fay over the coming years. Now, my silver moment, that goes back to Camryn Rogers. She has one of the most amazing personalities that we have come across over the last 2 weeks here in Paris. What an infectious smile and vibe. And again, joie de vivre comes to mind. It's a very French word, but she just is radiating positivity and happiness. This is a person who slept 1 hour, about 24 hours or less, really, after winning gold in hammer throw, making history. She was so cool. And again, one of the best parts about doing this show here at Canada Olympic House is the fact that you get to see all the regular civilians, tourists, people visiting COH, interact with people who just made history a few hours prior. See little kids taking photos, touching the gold medal, and she wanted everyone to touch the gold medal. She was upset if you said no to touching the gold medal. I didn't want to touch it. She said, no, you have to touch it. Very cool to see her handling this oh so well and getting all this love and attention and praise here at Canada Olympic House. I loved everything about it. Now, speaking of the magic of Canada Olympic House, well, this is my gold medal moment. I was on cloud 9 when earlier today, first I see Luguentz Dort of Team Canada Basketball. Obviously yesterday was a disappointing day, but Pride of Montreal, I've been talking about him on the show. He's just hanging out on the concourse over here, talking to people, taking pictures, seemingly in a pretty good space 24 hours after heartbreak against France. And then who do I see? One of my favorite fighters of all time, the pride of Saint-Isidore, Quebec, Canada, the one and only Georges St-Pierre, a man who I've been covering since 2007, one of, if not the most down-to-earth superstars that I've ever come across. This man, if I text him, he responds within minutes. If I ask him to come on my show, he's there the next day, no questions asked. And he's hanging out. He wasn't supposed to be here. He didn't have media obligations. He just wanted to check out COH en route to supporting his friend tomorrow in wrestling. He's hanging out with Lou, and then I get to take a picture with two kings of Montreal sports. I was on cloud 9. Shout out to the 514, making us oh so proud here in Paris. Shout out to GSP for being the ultimate mensch, and shout out to Lou Dort, who I believe was the only member of the men's basketball team to come hang with the people here at COH. Great stuff. All right, time to look ahead to day 13, and we go back to beach volleyball. Last night I said, all right, we're watching the quarterfinals against Spain. Well, guess what? The team of Brandy Wilkerson and Melissa Jimena Paredes, they won. They're on to the semifinals, and that means this is their best finish ever. And that means they are very close to playing for a medal if all goes well, and maybe a gold medal, which would be mind-blowing considering they weren't one of the favorites going into this tournament. And so they play Swiss tomorrow at the Eiffel Tower Stadium at 11 a.m. Eastern, only on CBC Gem. The biggest moment in Canadian beach volleyball history. You gotta watch. I know I will be. You gotta check it out. This is great theater. All right, that does it for us. Time to go to bed. Thank you so very much for watching. We'll see you tomorrow. Bonne nuit from Paris.
Paris Tonight is brought to you by Smart Water.